the wrong way with the wrong intentions, I say quiet hiring is not going to work. And when I reflect back, I felt like, you know what, that was a wage theft. Why do you need to come back, right? Micromanagers are like, I need to literally watch. You got to understand the environment and see if there's something you can do, self-reflect. So by 90 days, I figured it out working, and the reality was completely different. If you Google whitening resume, a lot of people are concerned about it. If you want extra from me, what's in for me? I'm going to go somewhere that I am celebrated. How are you today? This is Sweta Regmi joining live from Canada, your certified career and resume strategist. Who am I to lead these kind of sessions? Listen, I have lived your life as an immigrant in Canada. Newcomers, anyone right now watching me, please let me know, because I feel you, I hear you. We've all gone through that. And today I wanted to go over, what do you lack when it comes to moving in this new country? You have so much skills, so much resources that you know of, but sometimes knowing those things does not even matter if you're not able to plan the job search, right? So you got to stand out, especially people like us, people of color, people whose language is not English. First, it's not English is not my first language either, right? And we have that accent as well. There's an accent bias as well. So this whole week, we talked about the immigrant journey. And then you've heard from so many of my clients who are immigrant in Canada, and how do they bounce back despite of their struggle. You heard Ray, who got in an accident, who was an immigrant, who decided to, I just want to go from temp job to the full-time, who got 50% increase. You heard him yesterday. If you didn't, then go back to the email. The replay link was sent out. How did he use the program, which is the one size does not fit all career strategy program, exclusive to the immigrant, that I'm opening group coaching, group mentoring. This is now open for enrollment for you. And you want to be part of this program, where you want to be part of our success story, just like these clients who are coming in every day and sharing their inspiring stories. The time is right now. And look, I said, you can grab all the free resources that I provide you. If you've been doing it all the time and you still feel like, something is missing in here, there's probably a reason for it. When I'm going through the free resources, my intention is to give you the advice, generalized one. I cannot customize it for you. But if you feel like these are the sessions that you want to go above and beyond, I can only cover so much in these sessions. I covered 7 C's of career clarity. I walked you through the process. But how are you going to do it? It has to be customized based on your need. I'm going to cover 7 P's of personal branding tomorrow. How are you going to do it yourself would be the customized, cater to your need, right? These are the things that I teach in my program. So today we're going to have 2 guests. One guest was immigrant in Canada who climbed up the ladder in senior leadership, and then later on decided, I'm going to quit it and I'm going to pivot it into my own self-employed journey. And Dipanshu would be the one joining us soon as well. And he's going to tell you how he's used the same program that he's mastered when he was getting a promotions, and how is he now using the same program to pivot it. And that's the beauty of this program. Let's say if you decide right now that, you don't want a promotions, you want to probably venture on your own or be consultant or be real estate agent, whatever it could be. This program would tell you what to do. The framework would be similar for building the branding, defining your market niche, right? This is how it's customized, just like the way that Ray used it for himself, from going from temp to increasing the 50% salary, right? And then getting promotions, negotiating it to the point that he even applied for CPA exam as well, using the CAR framework. He talked about it yesterday. I still use it in my company when I'm sitting down and doing the case studies. And this is a program that he learned it, and school and universities did not teach him that. All right. So this is where you got to decide today and say, well, do I want to be doing this Or do I want to just sit here and apply online and wait and just feel that self-doubt? Maybe I'm not the right fit. Maybe I moved to the wrong country. Maybe I need to be stuck in survival jobs, right? Maybe I don't belong in that seat, because it's going to come in. The mindset matters. And today we're going to talk about the goal and vision. This is why you need to have the plan. See, if you just think about, I want to have a dream career, and you don't do anything about it, what's going to happen now is you have no idea how do you plan it, execute it, right? You can think all you want. You can have your goal ready to go. But what's going to happen now is if you don't execute it day by day, you don't have that action plan, the results are not going to be just the way that my clients have delivered. They learned and they went in and executed it beautifully. And that's why they're invited as a guest speaker, because that worked for them. And the program is not for anybody out there who thinks that it's going to be easy. And you've heard hiring manager like Fiaz yesterday, who were laid off 3 times with me. And then he said okay, well, you stretched me. I was not even comfortable, but it was by the time he wrapped up the program, he was like, okay, I like that, right? So it's not going to be comfortable. This program is for not anybody who's going to blame it on a system, who's not going to do the work. I am going to stretch you, right? You don't invest in yourself for me to tell you, hey, everything is fine. That's I'm going to call you out. I'm going to say, well, we're going to do these things differently. Otherwise, I'm not going to sugarcoat the thing. One thing about me is I'm a type A person, right? And there's a pros and cons for it. I will make you do things. So any job search, any career promotions, that's how it should be. You have to do things. You can consume the free resources and content. What are you going to do about it? Self-reflect. These are the assignment that you must do it to self-reflect and understand your strength, weaknesses, and everything. You can listen, but if you don't write it down, it's not going to work. And that's what happened to me when I put every January, I put the goal and vision together. If you have a workbook, bring it out. And there's a link underneath it as well in the chat. Open that workbook, right? What is the difference between goal and what is the difference between vision? A lot of people struggle with that, right? Take a look at that workbook. And if you don't have it, you just should go back to the email and find that workbook and complete it, because there's going to be amazing exercise that is going to come out about you yourself. Remember, I always said, I'm not an expert. You are an expert. You know so much about you. You don't even know until you write it down. Trust me on it, right? And your mindset would be like always thinking, when you write it down, you're going to be thinking the same thing over and over. When you see that every day, the mind's not going to let you forget it all. And I started doing that earlier. So that way, every day I'm seeing the same thing. What's my goal? What's my vision? Where do I want to be? Be very specific and clear. And some of you might feel that if you're in the manifesting world, tell me, I do believe in that. Put it in the comments. I've manifested. I didn't believe in this at all. It's been a couple of years. All the media coverage that I have, CBC National, Goldwood National, everything, the branding piece that I'm going to teach you on a 7 P's of branding, everything I planned it. It did not happen by an accident, right? Right this moment, you have to start writing it down. That applies to your career strategy and job search as well. So the goal is something that you can see it on workbook, and I'm going to go off the camera and we're going to go through the workbook and we're going to go through the exercise, okay? Are you with me so far? Type in yes, you're with me so far. Because if you don't do this exercise, honestly, it's not even worth it to come in these sessions. I'm giving this for free, right? You must go through this exercise to understand yourself. Before I do that, though, I want to tell you there's a hiring bias right there, right? When it comes to newcomers in Canada, any newcomers in the house right now, give me thumbs up and put it in there, I'm a newcomer. And there are location bias, and there's like no Canadian experience bias. How many of you go through that? There's a contrast bias, and this is all related with bias. Obviously, it happens even when you're someone who's moving from one province to the other one city to the other one, right? So how do you go about navigating that biases so that way you are not screened out by recruiter thinking that maybe hiring manager do not want the international talent, right? It's the vision and goal. It has to be connected with the vision and goal, right? There's something going on when you're articulating on the resume that it's not coming out. And we're going to go through the resume and interview sessions in the last day, but I'm dropping the nuggets as well. I want you to understand the location bias is a thing. So you can go with a no Canadian experience barrier as well. And what do you talk about? It matters as well. And that starts from the goal and vision. I want to talk about goal and vision. The goal is what you want to be. For example, I'll have a dream career in what industry and in how many days? Because now goal is to make sure not just saying that I want to have a dream career. Be clear on title and be clear on what industry, right? Be very unique and then niche it down. Like I said in career clarity session was, you are unique and you cannot be expert in everything. This is where the career clarity comes in, right? And then in how many days? Remember, you can commit to 30 days. I want to have that dream career in this industry by this day, but the dates are something that you cannot control it. If you focus on the date, then you're going to lose all the confidence. It's been 30 days. I'm not even close. It's been 29 days. I'm not even close, right? I want you to focus on now. That's good to have a goal, but that days is not controlled by you. It could depend on the job market. It could depend on the hiring managers. It could be depending on the recruiters ghosting you. Depends on it, right? Here's what I want you to focus on. The goal is, how are you going to get there? By the career clarity, the marketing material, right? Especially for international people, immigrant in Canada. Are you aware of the lingo that your employers are using? So let's say if you want to go to banking environment in AML sector, right? I have a client today who's working in the AML sector in top bank. She was a newcomer at some time. Her target was to not go to AML. She didn't even think about it. She got into the role in banking. I want to go into the AML. And everyone told her, it's not possible. You don't have a degree from here. She was a high school back home, and she couldn't upgrade it here for whatever reason. She decided to go in and work the survival jobs. And she said, you know what? I did the contact center work back home. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try my luck by doing the customer service to get to the bank. And she worked through it together with me. And now she's an AML right now. She got more than 5 promotions in the bank, and she's an AML, guys, without the degree certifications. Can you believe that? Same people are working there with MBA. And there are people breaking their head right now, people who grew up here and who are born here, who have the certificates, people who are newcomer and who have massive experience. They are having challenges. Why do you think that is? It's going down to golden vision, right? It all depends on the privilege as well sometimes. So you have to understand the world where you're getting into, right? So repeat it after every morning. Vision is you're already there with the strategy, right? For example, I have a dream career in what? I have a dream career in what industry, whatever. You already imagine that you already are there. You are manifesting it. You're talking to yourself in a present tense right now. You're already there. Define that. And that's an exercise that I have it on the workbook for you. I would like to see the completion version of you on our the community, in a Facebook community. Put it in there, right? I'm ready to put all necessarily efforts to get the position of what, right? Write the sentences on the vision board and stick it somewhere that you can see it every day. Universe will always help, right? That's a thing that you have to think about it. Universe always helps to align me with my goals. I'm truly blessed and open to new opportunities. My subconscious mind is my partner in the job search. An opportunity comes to me daily. What belongs to me finds me. Dream roles come to me. Recruiters finds me. I have a dream career in access role, certain role, and this industry. I have 100,000 plus from my dream career. So I want you to visualize the job from today on, right now, write it down. That you just visualize that job as if like you're feeling that's a first day in your job, right? And then you're going to say, feel that feeling. Can you imagine what kind of feeling you're going to feel it? Imagine yourself on that dream job, whatever it is right now with the title of the industry. Imagine yourself working there already, guys, and claim that power, right? And then you can go and manifest that feeling. And you could see on my workbook, the chart, what are you feeling right now? You can go and put yourself right here. What are you feeling right now? Go and do the exercise. Self-doubt to get a dream role. Are you feeling that right now? Say, yes, I'm feeling that right now. Self-doubt. Type in self-doubt. And I've been there. We've all been there, right? And then, you know what? Low confidence to talk to people, especially introvert. Yesterday, you heard Ray. He was an introvert. The guy actually took the program and negotiated it. And he's been hunted by recruiter all the time. He negotiates it, right? He got what he wanted. It's possible. Don't let, introvert is not a weakness. You have to melt that as a strength. You are a good listener. Any introvert in the house? Say, yes. I feel that everyone rejects me. That's a feeling you're having right now as a job seeker, immigrant in Canada, whether you're stuck with the survival jobs, whether you're a newcomer. Is that what you're feeling right now? And you're not wrong to feel that. Don't hide that emotion. We went through that same stage together. This is why I am absolutely creating this community. So now what you're going to do is, what do you want to manifest and attract? Not to feel that. I want to feel confident. I want recruiters to reach out to me. I want to get the dream role. I want to get multiple offers. I want to get high-paying jobs with more money to pay for everything. So you don't have to worry about travel, vacations, anything, right? So what would you feel when you have that job? Feel that moment of, okay, if I get this job in 30 days, whatever it is, I would feel confident, right? You will feel free and great. You will live the Canadian dream, or whatever country you're moving in. You would feel like, okay, it was worth it, totally worth it. Worry-free life and less anxious, right? And then areas, what you want you to do finally is, I want you to revisit the areas that you already feel this feeling in your life, which is, it could be you're married, you feel that same feeling with your partner, you're probably dating somebody, you could feel that feeling of, oh my God, I love this relationship. You might have kids that you love them to the death. I like, whatever the passion you have, you might be doing something, volunteering something, you really feel that you're giving it back, you're helping your true friends, you have a best friend. Feel that feeling, what happens when that happens to you. Maybe listen to the music, amazing music, that you, whenever you listen to that music, you feel that, oh my God, that's such a beautiful feeling. How many tell me, like, chat, like, do you feel that feeling? Yes, we are human at the end of the day. Forget the job search now. Put that in parking. Now go and feel that feeling that makes you happy, right? I feel confident around the partners and kids. I feel free and great when I am listening to the music. Tips. Now, major tips here, notice that feeling, the body and like the goosebump and everything. When you feel that feelings of like appreciation, kindness, you feel like, oh my God, the people are there to help me. I love my mentors and I feel like I'm supported. I moved to the new country and I could absolutely see it's going to work out for me and I'm loving the support and everything. Feel that feeling, right? And that feeling, don't hold it back. Now go back, have the same feeling for job search, because job search are really draining. I want you to feel that positive mindset and nothing negative. I want you to celebrate the smallest win. If you're not getting any response from the recruiter, right? You got to celebrate. Okay, well, I'm learning. How do I work around that? Maybe self-reflect and think, maybe it's me. Maybe, you know what, I could do better, right? If you're ghosted, then maybe it was the right thing, because did you really want to work with a company? You did follow-ups after follow-up. Revisit that as well, right? Sometimes what we do is we start to blame. It's so easy to blame people. I've been there as well, right? We blame the ATS myth. They're not reading the resume, there's enough biases, discrimination. I'm not here to fix the hiring gap, because I'm not there, but I'm here to fight that battle as an immigrant and newcomers. And we can do this by not playing around and hacking, but by really standing out with a great strategy that you don't have to compromise with your identity. I want you to feel that you're a cultural add, not a cultural fit. You see, we're done that. Been there, done that. And companies, we're so powerful right now. Companies talking about the cultural add, which is the diversity, equity, and inclusion. You got to target the right employer that you feel the sense of belonging. Now, how you do that would be doing the information interviews and feeling that feeling when you chat with them, right? You have to have that feeling, right? And the assignment for you for today's sessions would be, going in there and in the chart, I want you to write that down. It's on a workbook. Again, if you're watching for the first time, workbook is down there on the comment section. And then email was sent as well, right? Go and download that and then write that feeling. Remember, you can sit here all day. I can talk all day about if you have not gone ahead, if you've not seen the success, try something different, right? All right, so now with that being said, I already have a guest backstage. I think Dipanshu is there, who is my previous past client. We cannot control what they think. We can only control what we can do, how we can feel it. Do you allow other people to walk all over your brain with their dirty feet? I wouldn't, right? You got to feel that, okay, have I done everything that I cannot do anything more than what I've already done? I like you to ask because we tend to blame, and that's a human nature. It's not my fault. It's that. It's ATS. It's a hidden job market. People are hiring. It's my hijab. It's my turban. It's my English. It's my accent, right? And I gave you the example. It's not any of those. I brought you the clients who look like you, who sound like you, who came like you, and they're living the Canadian dream. Results are right there. All right, Dipanshu, welcome. Thank you so much for coming in. Tell us where you coming from, and what kind of program that you sign up with me, and how does that help you to pivot, and why did you pivot?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Sweta, first of all, for having me here. Myself, Dipanshu Bajaj. I'm a real estate agent. And well, I was struggling with my resume writing and my branding, first of all, the LinkedIn branding that we talked about a lot when, I was making so many changes. I'm background from supply chain and operations manager in a bakery.
That is amazing. So, and when you're working through it with a leadership role, we work through a career promotion strategy as well. As an immigrant or having hard time, and there was something that it was not standing out, and we were trying to define the career clarity, and we worked through it. I don't think I want to do this anymore, and then you decided to quit. And how did that? And the reason I brought Dipanshu today to let people know that how this program transfers the branding to branding. So he was in the senior leadership role. All right.
So yeah. So I know, there was some difficulties and, difficult situations at my work, and it was not easy for me because it was affecting my personal life as well. Right. So, I want to thank you, first of all, again. Why? Because I already had a framework that you taught me while I was, in the course of one size doesn't fit all areas, right? So you taught me how the LinkedIn branding works, and the framework was there. So how I pivoted was that I was so confident when I was moving from my previous career as an operations manager, from my real estate agent now, because I knew like how I can brand myself now on a LinkedIn. Before that, you won't you see any post I was doing, you won't see in the banner back then, you won't see I was active, I was liking anything then, right? And people can notice that, right? But after that, I started getting gains, growth, impressions. That is totally different than before. I didn't take your course then.
That's amazing. So, and then I heard you started as a side hustle to test it out with the branding, reframing everything from the program, and you made more money from your job, and you decided this is it, I'm going to
Yeah,
quit. Is that
yeah,
correct?
that's true. So what I did was, like, I already had the framework from you, and I know now that how I can do the branding part, right? So I started on the side while I was working. So I started doing postings on LinkedIn. I started doing, changing the banners, how I can start connecting with people also, after gaining all the knowledge through your programs and stuff. So it helped me really. And then when I knew, like, I did a couple of deals already, then I was like, let me just quit now, because now I can see how I can brand myself, how I can talk to people. I gained so much confidence also. So it helped me in my career, to pivot. And then now here am I, in this year I already made more than what I was making there.
Okay, that's amazing. Kudos to you. Sometimes client like you and the other people like Ray, and then today Daisy is going to be coming in here as well. That makes me think, I teach them one strategy, customizing it, and the way they actually apply it differently. That's the amazing transformations that you invested, and that investment was not for jobs only, it's for you to build the branding, and that's been ongoing right now. I'm super proud of you.
Yeah.
And the reason I brought Dipanshu today was he was willing to give back to the community of within his industry. He's been a hiring manager before. He invested in himself. He believes in investment, that kind of network in the community that I'm trying to create. And Dipanshu was like, hands up, I want to do that. I want to talk about it. So thank you so much, Dipanshu, for coming in. And before I let you go, what's your message to those people who are debating on, is this a right program for me? Would it work for me? What's a message for them?
So I would say that's the amazing program that Shweta you're offering, because resume writing, people don't know, they just apply with their current resume. There's so many things that you have to watch out for. And the LinkedIn branding that we went through was totally, I was there at like maybe 5, and it went to 100. Then people can see the change, and when the hiring managers are looking for, they are looking for those things, and those are not like just small things. Those are like the things that they're looking for, which potential is for you to get hired.
Want to bring stories like that, why this program works, and even if you want to pivot into the different industry, because there's an aspect in this class when I'm teaching you resume branding, it's the car model. How do you talk about yourself? How do you network with the people? How do you reach out to the hiring manager? And him being a hiring manager as well, he invested in himself, and then later on is like, screw this, I think I'm better, and he figured it out. Okay, I can deal with this, I'm not the right one. So sometimes that clarity session comes in very handy, and he doesn't have to call me for anything. Pansu, thank you so much for joining in today.
Thank you so much, with again. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so you heard Dipanshu, right? What do you think? A hiring manager in a senior leadership role just went with the sessions, one size does not fit all, career strategies, and then decided after going through the program, I can do much more than this with this program, and I'm going to give it a try as a side hustle. And he started and literally quit, right? Isn't that an inspiring story? And he made more money than he was already making. And he's already made more money right now. That's what he's saying, with the same program. So this program works pretty much for everybody, but you are the one who's going to execute it. You see what I'm saying? So you can't sit here and tell me, well, it might not work for me. It would work for you only if you're going to execute it. Next guest who's coming, she's an introvert as well. So she refused to do any networking. If you see her LinkedIn profile, it's dead. It's dead, literally dead. No branding on LinkedIn at all, but then she used a different kind of strategy because she doesn't like to network. She is an introvert as well, right? And she used a different kind of strategy based on my framework, and that worked with her beautifully. All right, so I'm going to go over the misinformations again, and then this is what's going to happen, right? There's a two kind of information. So when this program actually go through that model, there's one part of strategy where it's targeted for immigrants in Canada and newcomers to have them bounce back where they belong. And there's the other part of program for people who are living in Canada and they want to get the career promotion strategy as well. So for the next guest who's coming in, we've applied both. We've tested the both thing before even started like putting it out there. So we tested on as a newcomer journey in Canada. That's how she landed in top bank and she got into the award-winning company. Pretty much every time when she wanted to get promotions, she would just, me and her would practice interview and resume writing. And in the company, when you're going into the top companies, what happens is when you want to get promotions, there's a different kind of strategy, right? So what people do is as a newcomer, as an immigrant, you just land the role. And the part is there's going to be cultural gap now, right? And what's going to happen is you start to go, okay, maybe it's my degree. I'm going to go and then apply. Maybe, let's say if you want to quit the role as well, maybe it's online application doesn't work for me. Maybe the jobs are not posted. Maybe it's all networking, right? Things like that. If you want to switch outside, gets in your way. Pretty much people who are already in the company and you want to get promotions internally, right? The next guest, we apply two techniques. One is as a newcomer and immigrant in Canada, right? To get to the top bank. First, she got rejected. And then we worked together and she got hired, right? And she moved up a ladder quickly Because in these top companies, when the hiring process comes in, they have a strict policy. There's a career ladder inside the career path. So first we have to understand, in order to get there, how do you get there? It's going to take a time, and you have to put the career development plan together. You have to make it easy for managers. So I work through that. Okay. Talking to the manager. As an immigrant, what happens is we just sit down and feel like, let my work speak for ourselves. And if you come from that cultural background where you're not supposed to brag about yourself, now stop right there. If you feel that right now, that it feels icky, it feels like, oh my God, I'm bragging about myself. Oh my God, I'm taking credit. And especially that happens with the people of color and women, right? There's a gender issues right there. And I want you to set that mindset into, you need to brag about it. That's the only time you need to brag about it. You want career promotions, you want to bounce back, you want to showcase what you bring. If you don't brag about it, no one can read your mind. If I don't continue posting about my bragging, my clients got featured in media, no one's going to know. You're not a mind reader. You're not going to go and find the informations. In fact, a lot of clients come to me and say, it was because of your content, because I saw you in media, right? If I don't talk about it and put the content out and say, bragged about like what I have done to help thousands of job seekers, you would never find me. So why do you think you should not brag about it if you want to be targeted by recruiters, right? Why do you think the branding doesn't take you anywhere? And the next guest would be talking about would be, how did she get promoted multiple times? And then now she's in the world of AML, which is anti-money laundering, and FIU sector, which is very hard to get. And people are having hard time. I had one client who was in Dubai, and she was in AML and compliance, and she gave up, and she said, I think I'm going back. I'm not getting it. I have so much of experience and I'm not getting even interview. We worked it together. Now she's working the top bank, and she said, I'm going to go and get the certification. I said, don't try. And this is the problem with us as an immigrant. We think the certification is going to solve the problem. How is it going to solve the problem when you've not even identified the root cause? Is it the resume? Is it the interview? Is it the cultural bias that you're going through, right? So if you are one of those right now, immigrant in Canada, or newcomer, or landing soon, I want you to stop hoarding that certificates and degree until and unless it's your passion, you want to do it. There's two things, right? It's your passion, you want to do it, not because you want to get the job. There's a two different thing here. I see a lot of immigrant going through that. And I see a lot of immigrant in LinkedIn community. Hey, I have the certifications. I have the certification. In the meanwhile, they're open to work for years. What is that certification going to do? The employers, I'm speaking from the hiring experience, the employers do not hire for certification unless it's a requirement. It would be on a job posting. Experience always trumps it most of the time, depending on if it's regulated field or not. Sometimes you have to have a regulated industry to dictate that they want the certification. Rishi thought he wants to do the PMP. Remember Rishi, my guest, who made the six-figure as a newcomer? He thought first thing, I think it's my PMP. I'm like, no. Let's go and take care of this right now. If we don't get it, then I will suggest you the PMP. Six-figure without PMP. Now, Days Noyo, she's going to be coming in and she's ready, and she can probably hear me as well. Let her speak about her journey. Hi, Noyo. Welcome to my show. Tell us where you're joining us from and why did you decide to work with me?
Yes, I'm joining from Canada right now. Obviously, my resume is a crap. I'm sorry, not a good word choice. But yeah, when I came, I was doing a retail job, and somebody told me like, "Is this what you do for? Is this what you want to do for the rest of your life?" And I actually, that word really made an impact. Not saying that retail market is like a bad job, but I can't be standing all day long and coming home and like doing other works as well at the same time, right? Maybe I just needed a better career choice. Then that got me thinking. Then I started applying for a bank role in a customer service area because I have had experience back home for the call center, and obviously banking sector because of the fact that my parents were also banker. Just trying to be in the same area, and I love the area anyways. So yeah. but I got rejected. And obviously, the reason was being, I think, to me, I think the reason was because I'm only high school graduate from back home. I never came, I mean, I came here and never focused on my studies. I did not want to study. I don't like studying. So that was not the path that I wanted to go. Not give much time on studies, but to me, the experience was valuable, I feel. But I got rejected, and I then was kind of being depressed. But then I encountered you, and after like expertise from you, like you helped me write my own resume with the course that you're actually the one that you're doing right now, um, instead of you writing a resume for me, you helped me write a resume so that in future, if I needed to uh, rewrite the resume, I can do it on my own. I don't need anybody's. I mean, like, go and pay another money to get the resume done, right? So it was really helpful. That is still working for me right now. So yeah, then I got a job in a bank, just like how I imagined and wanted. So that's how it is.
Amazing. And let me go back to it. And for viewer, you're hearing for the first time, she was my guinea pig. When I was not even starting
True.
the business consulting, I thought about, okay, I'm helping so many people already. So I'm going to start from people I already know. And I chose like, okay, I'm going to test a couple of people, see if it's going to work out, because I have to know if it's going to work out. And she was one of my tester guinea pig. And then she proved the result. She executed it. She got into the banking, and then she got promoted a couple of times. How many times you got promoted?
Well, at least 5 times. This is probably I'm on my sixth role right now,
Yeah.
and every time that I have had, I'm telling you right now, I am very nervous right now because this is my first time video interaction and stuff. Right, I am a very nervous person when it comes to the interview. Like all those butterflies going on. As soon as I know that there's some interview coming, I literally right away call Sweta.
And every interview for internal promotions, she's like, what do I write? How do I showcase my KPIs? How do I showcase my results? I need your help. I'm like, okay, let's do this. And then she would literally be on a phone and recording me when I'm talking to her. It's like, wait, I need to record you. And then literally on a car, you would be listening to the recording, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely, yeah.
And then she got promoted. She got like, more money in the bank. And then what happened was now she wanted to go to AML. That was difficult. How did you get there? Like, coming from call
Yes.
center in a banking, dealing
In
with
a
the other
banking with
aspect of
no
investment.
actually, what do you call it, the certification or any of the, studies that I've done, like, just a high school diploma. For me in banking, if I'm telling my friends right now back home, like, what, you just high school, they're even shocked right now. I'm like, yeah, I'm here. I'm in the banking sector and I'm now in AML, but without a certification. Like, believe me when I say that. I was actually nervous to even apply for this role, and I was not sure if I'll actually get it because you need CAMP certifications and like all different kind of certifications to get through it, right? But yeah, with the help of your course that I did, like, and it did really help me to get into this role today without a certification, I have to say.
And one perk, she went on 3 mat leave,
Oh
just,
yes,
three
true.
mat leave, 3 years off the work, and it's paid in Canada. So can you give kudos to her? A woman like that, she goes away in a mat leave back to back with 3 kids, with the small kids, and then now she buys the $1 million property as well at the same time. And she met her love of her life at the same place she was working as well. And she
Yes.
is living the Canadian dream without hoarding that certifications. And again,
Hmm.
she invested her time program. So are you living a Canadian dream? What's a message to people who are doubting about themselves right now? Is this investment right for me? What's your message before I let you go?
Um, well, the message is the first and foremost is yes, there are a lot of studies, certifications, and everything that you can do. There, you also have to put a lot of money towards it. Let's just say if I were doing the after high school, if I had gone to college or university, or like gotten all different kind of certification that I had, I'd be spending like a lot of dollars. You know, it's not a joke, and the education system is like really expensive too, right? But that money, like even like percentage, a small part of money that I put into your program, that has actually helped me. Like, I save so much more money through that, and like putting all that money, like a little bit of money, and that is investment, putting towards the course, which is my investment. For me and for my career, like it has led me to where I am today, and it everybody should do. Not saying that like ditch their university or college. I'm not saying that, but like, more than that, like really think like, what would actually benefit me in a long term, and work towards it. And for yourself, you are your own, what do you call it? Investment.
Invest in
What?
yourself.
Yeah, invest
Yeah.
in yourself.
We don't
Stock
invest
market.
in ourselves. We absolutely don't invest in ourselves at all, because we tend to think that everything is right, and we feel that investment is asking for help is a weakness. That's what we feel. So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut you off. One more thing in our culture. From there, there's nothing called like invest in yourself. First of all, I'm a woman. Second of all, investing in you yourself, that's like a big no, right? Like, here. So I'm coming from that background, and if I'm able to do all this and achieve everything that I actually wanted in my life, so can everybody. But you just need to think of yourself first. Not saying to be selfish, but you do really have to think of yourself in terms of career and personal life as well.
oh, that's beautifully wrapped. And thank you so much for coming in and sharing.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, how was that for a change? Someone with the high school degree without certifications moved up in the ladder more than 5 times. Now she's living the Canadian dream, and it is possible. And you got to do something about it. So choice is yours now. Do you want to continue to feel what you're feeling right now? By December, do you want to land in, right? When the Christmas comes in, do you want to gift yourself and say, I found this, right? Choice is yours. Enrollments are open now for to make sure that I make an impact when I'm taking you into the program. I've never done this before. I've never opened a group coaching for immigrant community. This is a time for you to sign up. And I'll be very honest here. For people who worked with me in the past, one-to-one coaching like this, it's over what you see, right? The investment is something you're never going to see this low for yourself. And I'm just doing for immigrant community, right? The people who've hired me in the past to work one-to-one have paid a lot. But this is a group coaching. I'm testing it out and see, we got to create the community of leaders, community of smart individual, immigrant community. And we're going to have to showcase to the world, listen, we can live this dream. And here's how we did it. That's what I want to create. That's a long-term goal for me. And this is why I want to make an impact to the world by inviting you to join me in the program with this journey. Join me tomorrow. We're going to talk about the P's of personal branding. And then last session would be the resume and LinkedIn and everything interview. And Saturday, if you have any questions about this program that I am launching soon, hop in the call on Zoom for Q&A. People like Sogantika, whose first job was in Deloitte. Can you believe that? A newcomer who almost gave up. People like Kriti, who job hopped and landed the role in 20 days in landing in Canada. Okay. What was the takeaway from this 2-day session? So people can go and see, okay, well, this is the program that I wanted to invest on myself. All right. You take care, everybody. And thank you so much for joining in.